What's up, guys and gals, and welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be checking out Souldiers. This is a game that actually is really remarkably well animated. It's an exploration Metroidvania. And so anyways, the first impressions that I got when I took a look at the game is that it sort of reminded me of sort of a crossover hybrid between like Odin Sphere with that slick, polished, very kind of drippy animations, mixed with like Symphony of the Night when it came to like the exploratory aspects of the game and kind of the freedom to go and look around and find treasures and things of that nature. So I had to get hands-on with it, and so you are now here for that experience. These are my first impressions of the game, so keep that in mind. There may be little dots and tittles that I miss along the way because I haven't played the game before. I've more or less just taken a look at all the press materials. But we're going to dive on in, spend about 25-30 minutes with the game, and see if it's something we can add to our wish list or otherwise pass on. If after watching this, you did indeed want to get the game for yourself, I'll have a link for you down below in the description, as always. And then on top of that, you can also check out my Discord and my Twitch stream, just in case you wanted to discuss indie games further, live and in person. So without further ado, let's dive straight on in. The first thing to be aware of is that I am playing with a controller. I find that with side-scrolling stuff, playing with a controller works for me much better than playing with the keyboard. I did take a look at the keyboard keybinds when I went down on in here, and it looks like it uses a control scheme that's two hands on keyboard. So your left hand is going to be controlling movement and consumables. Your right hand is going to be controlling attacks. However, with the sheer volume of keybinds and whatnot, with the left hand and the right hand, I do think that just taking a cursory glance at the layout of the control scheme, that this is definitely going to be one of those games that predisposes itself to the use of a USB controller, so maybe something to keep in mind there before you dive on in. This demo is available till the end of the Steam Festival. I don't know if it'll remain available after that, but you can try the game for yourself if you see anything appealing here. Let's start a new game. So we can pick between, let's go with Soldier difficulty. That sounds good. You can change the game mode, but yeah, that's fine. That's perfectly okay. I do like the ability to change difficulty on the fly, though, while you're mid-run, just in case you hit one of those nasty stop gaps. Zarga, one of the three nations that rule the continent of Asil. I don't know if that's like a Latin C where it's like Askel, or if that's going to be like an English silent C. I don't know. Within the castle walls, the Royal Council debates the best strategy for the coming war. After a few hours of deliberation, the king and his war council are about to conclude their meeting. Is that clear? We will follow the positioning set by General Brigard to the letter. That will be all. You may all leave. The council members leave their seats and ready themselves to leave the chamber. Arkzel, the sorcerer and advisor to the king, leads the way to the door when suddenly... One moment, your majesty. Yes, is there something the matter? Oh, he's about to get the king! Actually, I'd like to propose a change in our strategy. Waiting in this grotto is boring. I'd prefer General Brigard's initial strategy take part in the action alongside all the others. Soldiers, be firm. You should have more faith in Arkzel's wisdom. His council has guaranteed Zarga's victory on multiple occasions. Yeah, but it looks like he just led you into a canyon. Like, I'm not a military guy, but I have a distinct feeling that positioning the main body of the force inside of a canyon feels like a trap to me. Like, I feel like anybody, like, you don't have to be a West Point graduate to realize, like, something's a little bit smelly here. Like, something's fishy. Now, be sure they don't see you. Dedalm's army is going to be marching down the hill at any moment. Yes, General. Ah! An earthquake? All of a sudden, an earthquake leaves them trapped between the mountain slopes, plunging them into darkness. Before their very eyes, a glowing beam appears, bathing the dark cave in its light. Like something out of a dream, a being emerges and starts to speak. Oh, brave warriors who have fallen in the heat of battle. Who are you? Did you do this? I'm a Valkyrie. We are the key of the fallen, and we serve to perpetuate their existence beyond this world. You must come with me. Now what? Valkyries do exist. I thought they were a legend. Silence. There must be a mistake. We're alive. We will rejoin the rest of our army once we've been free of here. Get out of here. Listen to me carefully, mortal. We are gifted with the knowledge of life and death. I can see in the palm of my hand how the lifeline that ties you to this world ended when you became trapped. It is not only rocks and earth that separate you from the outside. There is something else much more powerful than any attempt you can make to escape. Maybe you're unaware, but we have a grand sorcerer with our ranks who could... I see you don't understand. There is no one here with the power that you are suggesting. My mere presence excludes all possibility of doubt. You must accompany me. Your destiny lies here no longer. Is she really a Valkyrie? Could be a witch. What will happen if we don't? In that case, I will leave and you will never see me again, and those who decide to stay will fade into the dust in passage of time. All right. Listen to me, everyone. Nobody expected it to end like this, but we've run out of options. I'm going in. Riva, I can't keep my promise. May the gods preserve Zarga. If our general goes, I will go. He's never failed us. General Brigard, wait, we stand with you. Okay, so we can choose who we want to play as. Unfortunately, the two characters that you have that are alternates, the Archer and the Caster. The Caster was who I wanted to play. I was really excited about playing the Caster. I really like the art design on him, but unfortunately not available. So we're going to have to go with the Scout, who has this super rockin' pectoral guard and loincloth. That's an important accompaniment for war. Like, if you don't go with your pectoral guard and your loincloth, like, are you really properly clad for warfare? You know what I mean, in the classical sense? Just absolutely gorgeous pixel art. That is very, very nice pixel art. Honestly, like, when I first started out covering indie games, pixel art was kind of like in its infancy. Like on the internet, basically, and like with digital gaming. And it has just been so humbling and so impressive to see how this has all changed and how it's gotten refined and how like the frame animations have gotten better. It's just amazing to see the evolution from like me as a kid playing, you know, Super Mario Brothers on the NES to just like this right here, which is just like so seamless and so smooth. Just absolutely great. So we can go to the Sabuna Desert or we can go to the Spider Lair. Well, my homies went to the Spider Lair, and I'm not the kind of guy that's going to leave my dudes hanging, so I think we should swing on back with them and just make sure that they're going to be safe. It looks like we have a dodge roll right there that's going to be on the B key. Our attack is going to be on the X. On Y, we've got what looks like a strong swing. Triggers don't appear to do anything right now. Shoulders give me a block on the left shoulder. Okay, good to know. I like to track everything out real fast because, like, reading it off of the menu where the keybinds are is different from actually, like, learning it in action and kind of committing that muscle memory. Welcome, brave warrior. I am Leandris, matriarch of the Valkyries. Forget everything you thought you knew, your battles, your friends. You are now in a different place from whence you came. This world is ruled by a worldly god, a guardian who is awaiting your arrival and that of your allies. Your mission is to find him, but it will not be easy. If you succeed, you will pass into the next plane where you'll be named a champion in the great battle of the gods, Ragnarok, and be granted unimaginable powers. Tell me, soldier, are you ready to embrace glory beyond your life in this world? Find the guardian and with him your place. Dude, did she just poof into a cloud of butterfly dust? That's how you make an exit/entrance right there. I wish that I could pull up to the DMV and just be like, butterfly dusted. Everybody'd be like, that's so impressive. I wish I could butterfly dust. And I'd be like, girl, you know it. I'm going to chop down some sticks over here. I think those just give me health, though. What's up, boys? This place doesn't seem so different from the fields back home. Got no way of reaching General Brigard. We've started to have a look at the perimeter, but I'd much rather have been in this regiment, that's for sure. I don't know how to scroll the text. There's an arrow there that implies we can scroll the text, but the left stick, the right stick, and none of the buttons seem to do it. Huh. Maybe it doesn't scroll. Maybe that little down arrow. Normally that implies that you can scroll something, but I can do it. It's not that high. Better plan your jumps if you don't want to fall down here like me. Taking a leap right at the last second might do it. All right. I mean, we've got a double jump, and I didn't even realize that we had a double jump up until I saw that. Hey, who are you? Get out of here. Big old poo monster trying to get up in my way, trying to soil my hygienics right now. Very nice hit feedback. Actually, pretty wonderful hit feedback. That's a very, you guys know me. I'm a stickler for hit feedback. I'm a stickler for both the audio and the visual design of hit feedback. I feel like a lot of developers really, really underestimate just how important that is with any sort of melee combat game. And also gun games, in all honesty. The drop from these platforms doesn't see okay, so we can probably drop through. Oh, we can't drop through. Okay, hold on. Oh, we can't drop through. You just got to hold it a little bit longer. The window is a little bit tighter. So we can block with our shield, but it looks like we've got a blockometer. Oh, we get broken. Don't neglect your stamina bar. Okay. Ow. That was my face. That's okay. I'll chop down some bushes, and everything's going to be all right. What's up with you, man? Climbing down, jumping, blocking. What's all this? Some sort of testing ground? Yeah, it sort of seems like we've got some hardcore tutorialating happening at the moment. We've got a health potion, so that'll restore our health bar right there. That's going to be bound to the D-pad. Okay. I'll try to keep... Oh, well, we don't always have a double jump. So I'm sort of curious about how I guess I must have caught onto that little corner that was back over there. There we go. We can dodge roll through enemies, and it does look like it affords us some modicum of iframes when we do it. If you don't know what an iframe is, it stands for invulnerability frame. In pixel art, dodge, and design, it basically means that there are frames in the animation. Like if it's an 8 frame or like a 10 frame or 12 frame animation, there are a certain number, like frames 5 through 8, where the character has no collision and cannot be hit and struck with damage effectively. Uh-huh. You seem a bit clueless. Come on, you heard the Valkyrie. We got work to do. Snap out of it. Though, if you are on this road, that means you're assigned to the group tasked with exploring the cave. The rest are way off ahead. As you can see, this is no joke, so wake up. Open your eyes, because this place is full of creatures like that one. Anyways, I'm out of here. I've wasted too much time on you already. I do appreciate that they took the time to make the portraiture actually take on different sort of emotes as she's talking. Do yourself a favor and try not to lag behind. It's very, very easy a lot of the time just to use one portrait and let the player use their imagination for what body stance or... Oh, my God in heaven. All right, apparently we're fighting Baloo over here. Look for... Well, he's not really a bear. His tail's kind of too long to be a bear. What's he going to do? So he's got like a charge. Okay. Well, let's bring it to him. Nice little opening right there. Okay, he's got a big swing. See if we can get him to charge. There we go. He doesn't actually collide with the wall, though, if we go that way. So we want to kind of jam him up over here. All right, let's go. Let's go, man. We beefing now. What you got for me? You know you want to break out that spicy, saucy charge. Okay. All right. There was a little bit of a stutter frame at the end of that. Oh, God. Okay. All right. Fair enough. I want him to hit this wall again, but he's not going for it. So he's got about 3 or 4 attacks. All of them look great, and it looks like he varies them up, too. Like, there doesn't seem to be any conceivable pattern right there. It feels like he just sort of, like, picks randomly because he was able to double attack right there. Sometimes he double jumped. Sometimes he attacked, then he dashed. Like, it's possible that he shifted phases, like, midway through, but I don't know. Just on a cursory first-time observation, didn't seem that bad. The iframes feel fairly generous, which, honestly, I feel like if you got to err on a side of caution, I feel like making the iframes more generous rather than less generous tends to be the better way to go. Rather than talking to people, I think I'm going to focus on getting us a little bit further on into the game so that you can really catalog how much gameplay there's going to be here. Looks like we've got shrines, so it looks like it's also got a little bit of a Souls-like bent to it. I kind of figured from the fact that we were losing stamina via blocking and whatnot. An emerachnid. The markings on this strange gem show that it was set in something for a long time. Oh, it's going to open up the door. Yeah, there we go. We got ourselves a keystone. Why use a key when you can use a massive gem? Well, like, wait for me to go first, dude. I'm the main character. I've got all the agency. Like, if you guys go down first, you're definitely going to die. Like, you guys are like red shirts right now, dude. You're not the main character. So dude, that's a rookie mistake. Like, I realized a long time ago in my life that I am not the main character. Other people are definitely the main character. Like, at best, I'm like an NPC in other people's, like, epic story, right? And so, like, you always let them go first because they're the ones that have the plot armor. Like, you never go first if you're, like, a side character. That's just, that's a bad idea. Okay, all right, some booby traps rattling around. Is there any type of... So I was kind of wondering if there's, like, invisible walls and stuff. That's kind of like a hallmark of the genre. Almost got spiked right there, but I figured that if I ran off of the ledge... I was worried that if I jumped, I was going to bonk my head up a little bit. I don't want to kill you, little roly-poly. You look like a friend. You don't look like an enemy. What are you, like a little armadillo, dude? Okay, he's harmless, dude. He's an armadillo. He's not a harmadillo. Okay, harmadillos are the ones that have like a real penchant for 5.56 rounds and inflicting pain on people. We've got some kind of Zubat thing going on down here, and in fact, I have been struck by the Zubat. It doesn't look like we have an upward strike or anything like that we can swing above our heads. So I do think I'm going to have to kind of platform whack these guys. There we go. Oh, the holes seal up after you kill like a certain requisite amount of spiders. Oh no, dude! Our first homeboy went down. See, I told him not to go first, man. I tried to give him that warning. I play a lot of video games, and I watch a lot of movies, and one thing I know for certain is that you never go first if you're a side character. Ever. That's just the basics. There we go. Line them up. Really happy with the hit feedback. That's one of my big sticking points with video games is like good, solid, like visceral hit feedback. And man, they've got it like covered right here. Feels good, like it's chunky. It feels nice when you hit the enemies. And that's because they've used a combination of stop frames. So effectively the game freezes for just like 1 out of 60 frames. It freezes when you make impact. And then it's got that chunky just like ka-chunk hit sound when you hit them. Like that right there, that's the recipe. That's the recipe for making a game feel good. You obtained your first mastery relic. You can use it to acquire your first mastery. These are skills that are normally passive that you can move around. Okay, so we've got like a little bit of like a kind of an RPG thing going on too, so we can get a counter attack. So it's effectively a parry. I am notoriously terrible at any game that requires me to do parrying consistently. So for example, in Dark Souls, I was able to dodge roll and otherwise just kind of slow boat my way through everything by blocking. When I played Bloodborne, Bloodborne was much less merciful. Bloodborne was like, no, you will parry or I will hurt you, which is why I always really struggled with making any kind of real progress in Bloodborne. I got pretty far into it eventually, but the learning curve was definitely much more severe than Dark Souls for me. I'm going to try to take those guys out quick. It does look like we're filling up a yellow meter up there, and I'm kind of wondering if that yellow meter is there for like a limit break or something. Ah! You scared us. You shouldn't scare us at a time like this. The rest of us, you'll see. Everything was going good until a nasty group of spiders came hurtling towards us out of nowhere, dragging the others into the darkness of the cave. I've decided this guy's from Boston. I was gonna help, but I realized that my shoelaces was untied. I don't know what the lazy bones was doing. I told you, I was watching over the provisions. You saw how hungry the bugs looked. Hungry for us, genius. Oh, really? And since when do when do our boots have laces? Never mind the details. The most important thing for right now is to come up with a rescue plan. What do you think he, Yeah, can you help us? It'll be perfect. We're gonna check the main room just in case. Oh, sweet, dude. We got a map. Nice. Thank you. Please, go find them. All right. So now we've got options for navigation. I mean, I'm not a giant fan of looting the dead, but this does seem like we're kind of in a bad situation, so I'm going to make an exception to my normal rules about stealing from the deceased. Ow. There we go. Oh, he got me with that one, too. It's okay. They're dropping lots of health. I doubt the health drops are... Oh, you can break the lanterns, as too. Kind of... Oh, cool. Okay. Apparently the environments are, like, fully destructible. Love it. Absolutely love it. Get a little bit of damage off on you. I love that there's a kick frame right there. I don't know what that's called, but I call it a kick frame, which effectively is when your character turns around, he kicks out one leg and slides on it for a second before he shifts momentum in the opposite direction. Fantastic way to add, like, weight and a little bit more, I guess, gravity to the characters and sort of imply that they actually have a physical being in the world. Like, they have mass, effectively. I've never really liked it too much when games just instantly turn you around on the spot. I think the first game I ever saw do that was Prince of Persia, and oh my god, okay. You're a little bit terrifying. Don't like you. Definitely not a game for people with arachnophobia, I suppose. I don't suppose there's a arachnophobia mode where it turns them into big spheres or nothing, right? I don't think so. I don't think so. So if you're like terrified of spiders, this game's gonna run you through your paces, because that was a big old beefy hairy bastard. I knew it. I saw that thing on the ground. I didn't know what it was. It looked like I've seen Indiana Jones enough times to know though that like when there's a pressure plate on the floor, you're probably about to get shot. So we got a spider lair map. So does that just fill in the outline? It must. Okay. Now is that reactivatable? No, that's single time deploy. Oh, we can critical too. That's a really nice critical hit effect, if somewhat a little bit flashy. So he can. Oh, he shot spider webs up my butt. Oh, I got greedy. I could have slow played that, but I wanted to finish it like now. Like, the game says that it's soul-like influence, but honestly, like, maybe later on in the game the enemies will hit a little bit harder, but normally when I think Souls-like, I feel like you get hit, like, the mental image that I get is that you get hit like one time and your health bar go all the way down. Decent enemy variety for this point in the game, too. I mean, we're only in the first dungeon, and we've seen, like, what, 6 or 7 different types of enemies? That's another, like, kind of place where I feel like games get jammed up in the doldrums. Sometimes they lean a little bit too heavily on the same, like, 3 or 4 enemy models for, like, one dungeon too long. And the player can get a little bit of fatigue from fighting, you know, the same kind of the same kind of adversaries with no variation. But so far, we've seen the big spiders, the little spiders, the bats, the slimes. They threw in that big raccoon guy or whatever he was, like that fox that we fought as sort of like a mini boss. Like, I've been kind of happy with the enemy density and the enemy variety so far. The enemy placements are actually pretty intelligent as well if you think about the structure of the level. What can happen in games like this where there's a lot of ledges and there's a lot of platforming is that if you're not careful and you sort of haphazardly deploy enemies like all over the place, you can end up in a situation where... Can I break that? Okay. You can end up in a situation where the player will have corners and ledges that are being camped by the enemy, and if you don't give them sufficient utilities in order to... If you don't give them sufficient utilities in order to clear ledges, it can lead to basically a no-win situation where no matter what they do, they take damage. And if you look at where the enemy placements are at, all of the enemy placements are tastefully like a solid few inches of screen space behind the ledge or behind the corner. That to me shows that the developers really do have kind of a prescient understanding of platform and Metroidvania design that you would be surprised, like, frequently I find that people miss out on sort of that fundamental design element, that it is not fun to have a ledge camped and be forced to take damage inside of a dungeon or whatever a lot of the time. It feels unfair. And I think that, like, the essence of games is really maintaining that there are rules, and if you follow them like any other game, you are rewarded with success, and if you disregard those rules and you ignore them, then you are punished with, like, damage or, like, things being removed from your characters or debuffs and stuff like that. And so, anyways, it eliminates and avoids a sticky situation that I see a lot with Metroidvanias that get sent to me. Thank you. We expected to find spiders in this cave, but not this size. Macarella Grouper must be desperate if they were caught too. All right. I'm being shot at. So let's go ahead and deal with the giant Spidarian first over here. I'm gonna have to... Oh, dude. I did want to try out the parry, and it looks like the block is fairly snappy and responsive as well. I keep seeing these walls over here, and they're sort of like rubbly, and I keep thinking maybe they can be broken. I like that little environmental effect right there, where when you step on a spider egg, a bunch of little tiny spiders run out and just kind of disperse about the area. Lots of good little details with this game. It's actually got me fairly impressed right now. They've done a very, very good job with this. Retro Forge has a lot to be proud of right here with this like, this demo is solid. Like, this and Core Keeper are the two demos that I've seen this week that are very, very, very solid. I put the Iron Oath on the list, but it crashed on me near the end. And so anyways, I do think that the Iron Oath is going to be a fantastic game. just because of the care that's gone into the visual. Are these going to close off at any point? I think there's like infinite spiders over here, dude. I think we have like a recursive arachnid problem. And so I'm just going to kind of dip out and go about my business. Was that like a loot spider that we just killed? See, these ones are sealing. Come here, little buddy. All right, get this slime real fast. I do like how many like branching paths and things we kind of have right here. But they keep leaving, there's gotta be something. Like, they keep leaving these little alcoves, like, all over the place. Which really makes me think that at some point we're gonna get, like, a bomb or, like, a bash or something that breaks walls and allows us to go through. Like, kind of gated level progression is a hallmark of Metroidvania design, where, like, until you have the double jump boots, you can't do this. Until you have the dash boots, you can't do this. And so, like, I'm already sort of expecting it. Oh, he's got a dash attack. I don't think I've ever seen him pop that one off right there. He came from off screen and nailed me. Okay. I am now aware of a utility that the spiders have inside their little spider utility belt that I was unaware of previously. We've got another level up right there. Very nice. Taking our health back up. It looks like we got an extra 2 HP from the level up. He's trying to run up and get some. What are you? Some kind of boar? He's got little tuskies. He's got a little tusk stash. That's a hybrid between a mustache and a tusk. The term that I just made up. Thank you. Isn't it amazing how you can't even get a wink of sleep in this monster-riddled cave? You close your eyes for a second and end up... Oh, my bad. Apparently the analog stick can bypass text. That's my bad. I'm Baloff, merchant and friend of the person who saves me, which happens to be you. I don't know how to thank you for taking me off the menu for those spiders, but I know. Here we go. Bombs. See, that's what's up right there. Was that landslide there a minute ago? Well, never mind. I know it's not exactly a magic ring, but since you came this far, you'll appreciate this. There we go. And so we've got bombs now. Why don't you try using one to get me out of here? Word of advice, try not to be around when it goes off. I wouldn't want to lose my best friend so soon. So left trigger's going to give us a bomb. Oh, God. Okay. All right. It explodes on impact. I learned a thing today. Free. I'm off. And by the way, if you fancy exploring when you get out of here, to the east of these caves you'll find Hafen City. Come and see me. I'll introduce you to the family and give you something to keep you on your incredible adventures. Because you embarked on an incredible adventure, right? Anyways, I'm out of here. Oh, they even animated a little wave right there. Well done, developers. Well, I will say this. We're coming towards the end of the video, and I don't think there's much more to say other than what I've already been gushing about. But Retroforge, from what I've seen so far in the first 30 minutes of the game, has done a fantastic job. I have found absolutely nothing out here that I can complain about. The animation is fantastic. The iframes are properly designed. The level layouts are good with regards to monster distribution. It's got all of the hallmarks of Metroidvania gameplay wrapped up in just an absolutely gorgeous veneer of visual spectacle. So anyways, I will see you all later. My name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so that you don't have to. Today, we were checking out Souldiers. Tomorrow, we'll be checking out something else. Thank you for hanging out, and thank you for giving me your time. I will see you all later, and I'll be back with something hot and fresh off the indie skillet. Bye, everybody.